Okay, so I'm targeting improving my left hand roughs because for some reason my left hand start on these type of feels a lot more natural than right. Okay, so I'm finding a way to left hand lead the finishing part of the fill. The purpose of this exercise, you may do it. I've written out the sticking and the footing. You don't have to follow that. It's a concept. It's an idea. Paradiddle and diddle variations and single and double variations. But point is focus on that last bit has to come out almost as if you're late on every stroke, because you've got to give it room to cut them, spread out a little bit more than a regular 30-second note. It'll be almost like a dotted 30-second note, the spacing, if you were to really get technical. Okay? If you're really to get technical. Because you got to allow room. It can't sound literal. There's a lot of these ideas were used, especially the 70s and 80s, the Bonham Pace era, the era of the Vinnie Appice, McBrain era, even further down the track. Guys like Cosmic Powell in the 70s, they all used this idea a lot. Tommy Aldridge, there was Vinnie Appice uses it on almost every trill, and in the Trooper you hear Nico use it a lot. All these famous, half of Bonham and Pace's playing was built up on these type of concepts in one way or another. So guys like Brian Tishy do a great job today in mimicking those type of scenarios, and they've kind of been these type of phrases have been kind of a little bit washed out. Steve Gadd in a different way. I mean, they're sort of herders in one way, actual herders, but it's in my opinion a revolutionary, I guess, underuse of something that can be immensely. You're replacing a cymbal hit. You're replacing something with a very defined phrasing with a lot of snappy lows, and that just create a wonderful, I guess, a wonderful phrase, not just an accent. It's I've accented certain notes. They're not literally accents. I've pointed out what is, in my opinion, a little bit more accented. They're not literal like accents in, let's say, in a funk groove, like a Future Sounds type of a groove, etc., like a halftime type of a scenario. No, they're more, accents which you hear a lot of halftime playing when let's say guys like Steve Gadd play. You can really hear it's still a rock, generally more of a rock and roll concept, but there's still more of an emphasis. There's still some sort of an accent, all right, particularly towards the end. The single notes on the 15, they're very accented as much as you can. But the difficulty is when you're including paradiddles, and you've got a way of the kit having a reasonable amount of sustain, doubles really tend to come out a lot cleaner due to the resonance of the bottom head, the resonant head. These are interesting ideas you can apply all over the kit. I've just given you a sample. I hope you enjoy it. I had a break on the 16. The mount just snapped. Man, that's what I'm battling with to get sustain. There's no 16, so however, what we've got between the 8, 10, 14, but the 13, that's the new a different hoop and lugs I've got. What we're going to do is some paradiddle ideas. If we count them in 30-second notes, I'm doing so. As I've been kind of practicing that rough, where you've got a combination of the left on the 15, right on the 13, left on the kick, and the right on the kick. So count it in 30-second notes, it's landing on the 4. So it's got a, okay? It allows you to get this left side working more and more. However, here we go. I'm going to put the click on, and there's going to be some footwork there as well, so you can understand how it all makes sense. Okay? And here is the chart as well. Just take off the click for a moment, see what you've got. I'll go a little bit quicker. We're on 100, so roughs and working. You're going to make sure when you're handling the right side, whatever you're doing, the last stroke has to be a right on the 14 or the 16, depending on what you're doing. But has to be a right. So it allows you to have the left on the 15. context, it works with it. A lot of different measures, but I think it gives you an idea of where we're at, and I hope you enjoyed it. And it allows drummers who are trying to explore the left and right hand side to just do it. Go over, let's say a single stroke hit on the 3 toms that we've got. Don't hang around the first tom for too long, or hang around it for longer and shorten it on the last tom. Example. Same. Obviously, I'm making the last stroke on the a double on the right, so I can come back with the first stroke of the rough on the left. You've got to tuck your hands in when you're going for a single there, because doing that, or the paradiddle, which is written out, as you can see. Back to the single. Or the paradiddle, you're ending in that motion. Hands can easily get caught up in between. It's a very tight scenario, and you'll always have a tight scenario on the drums. As you're expanding or not expanding, it's an ergonomical evolution constantly. I'll take it up a notch, a little bit over 100. We're just a bit under 100. It's as far as I'm going to go. It's a question of getting it really, I guess, even and clean. You're working the opposite hand, getting more flow out of your playing, I guess, when it comes to left-right combination. Playing some more time over it. Let's try to go to 110. This is pushing it because if we're going to lose quality over speed, then that's the limit. You go back and you've got to practice these slowly. I'm just giving you an example. So when we continue with these paradiddle alternatives, my setup is the way it is on purpose to have more of a left-hand lead option, okay, before we... I'm holding the camera as I'm recording. What's important to note is that it's a left-hand lead followed by right hand on the 13, 15, 13th, so left hand on the 15, 13, followed by two kicks. My sticking, as you can see it written, and the footing is left, right on the kicks. So I ignore the motion, focus on what I'm trying to explain. So after the paradiddle that's in between the snare, 13 mid-tom and a small floor or a big tom, that's what you're looking at. It's very important. It's so useful. So useful that it's ridiculous. And the alternate to that can be commonly used. They're both used, but your alternate is a situation where by you're not, after everything you hear, so That's what I was trying to explain. That's what's written. Okay. And the alternate sticking would be, for example, like in the Trooper. With 2 kicks or 1 kick. Okay. I've already done a demonstration of that on one of my videos, but the alternate is okay, opposed to there's an added note, not an added note, but it's not even an added note. This one, it seems to be spread out micro over the 30-second notes. Micro, whereas this one, you're trying to, okay? That's all it is. Very unused in modern drumming for some reason. Okay. 2. Or, as I said. George Jarosevich, once again, thank you very much. See you next time.